building industry in Fargo-Moorhead is having one of its best years ever. The first 3 quarters in 2012 have shown us that the value of total construction value through September is nearly $434 million. And it is the highest dollar value ever posted through the first 3 quarters of the year. The previous high was in 2006, and that was $428 million. After 3 years of flooding and, as we know, the shaky national economy, it's exciting to see the industry thriving again and crews working on the job sites once again also. The new residential construction is at its highest point in 5 years. Total housing starts, which include single-family, twin homes, and townhouses, is up 29% in total units and up 57% in total value, for a total of 732 housing starts. Included with the total housing starts, single-family construction alone is at its highest level in 7 years. Housing starts are up dramatically in both Fargo and West Fargo, with Fargo coming in at 325 starts, and that's up 59%, while West Fargo is at 322 starts, and that is more than double than what it was in 2011. The city of Moorhead is on pace or slightly ahead of where it was a year before. The city saw 73 housing starts in both 2011 and 12, but so far this year, single-family permits are up 22%. The industry still faces some large hurdles in upcoming flood insurance mandates and the long wait for permanent flood protection. With our local strong economy, the housing needs are prevalent, and that's a good thing because we are putting people to work and creating jobs. And as the numbers that I just spoke about tell us the story of the need for housing in the area, there are many great reasons still to buy or build, and why the people are probably doing just that. I mean, it's still a buyer's market. Interest rates are still at historically low levels. There's a wide variety of houses and developments to choose from. House values in the area are steady. Buying a home is a great investment, and it still is the American dream. Local banks have money to lend, and there are housing incentives out there yet. When you're buying or building a new home in Fargo or West Fargo, there are savings of $5,000. Moorhead and Dilworth recently added a 2-year property tax rebate on newly built homes. And there are also incentives for down payments, closing costs, and financing assistance. And we do have an informational flyer posted on our website at hbafm.com, where they are available at the back of the room. At this time, I can take a few questions or be available afterwards for interviews.
Terry, you talked about hurdles, including the flood insurance mandates. Can you give some background on that?
Well, as far as the flood insurance mandates with the minimum flood elevations, which are preliminary yet, being raised, it's going to force a lot of homeowners into buying flood insurance. So, I mean, those things are the things that we're definitely concerned about, and without permanent flood protection, a good majority of the city is going to face those mandates.
Okay, so then that would be turned back if the diversion gets built?
Well, if we are, protected at the 100-year level, I believe is what the number is, I believe that we would not be required to purchase the flood insurance.
It was interesting, the numbers on here, the remodel numbers in Fargo. These are higher than the 20-year average.
Remodeling is just huge. I mean, there's so many people that choose to stay in their homes or stay, because they like their home, they like their location, and then they're choosing to upgrade or improve their home where it is. And the remodeling industry nationwide is quite large at this point. Anyone else?
One more, when we look at, the boom happening in western North Dakota and all the development going on, can we see echoes of it in the valley?
I believe that we do. We see people locating in the Fargo area, Fargo-Moorhead area, that are trying to move away from that area, but we're also seeing people now that are locating here and are commuting 1 week at a time, where they're back and forth, just because of the cost of living, the slower pace of life, but yes. And there are also businesses here that are definitely doing business in the western part of the state, so yes, we are some.
Example of business?
Business, just in our own industry, there's contractors that have located out there. The trades that go with the contractors, they have located out there, but, those types of things that we're seeing.
Well, you mentioned the commuters. Are we seeing maybe some workers coming to the Fargo area with their families, and then they establish a temporary back and forth?
Yes, we are actually seeing families locating here in the Fargo-Moorhead area and traveling back and forth. So, and like I said, it may be a week at a time, and maybe 2 weeks at a time if they're gone, if they're looking back. So yeah, we are seeing some things.
So how do we top these numbers in the next quarter?
Well, we'll see. We feel that everything is very strong out there. We can't project what's going to happen in the quarter that we're in right now. And we're going into the winter months where typically it does slow down a little bit, but, from what I see out there, there is a lot of activity right now. But where those numbers will come in is anybody's guess. Which kind of, it's a good segue for me to kind of lead into a couple of other remarks here, but for 2 years I had the opportunity to present these permit reports to you. And they're compiled, of course, by the Home Builders Association. And with this being my last one, I believe it is probably the most optimistic report that I've ever been able and privileged to deliver. And like I said, I think the upcoming report will be positive, but what the numbers will be is anybody's guess. But the numbers that were just put out to you, they aren't just numbers. You have to, look at them and just kind of dive into it. But, and really what they're a sign of our robust economy. And what can be accomplished when we don't have to face a flood annually, or the perception of a flood happening annually in our area. As you look around our communities, it's evident that business wants to locate here. From healthcare to retail to banking, all of these are new or expanding in our communities. And when business locates or expands in our community, new families and individuals also want to be here. Home building industry provides many jobs and contributes substantially to our local economy and tax base. But for this growth to be sustained, we as a community must stay committed to a solution for permanent flood protection. And I believe firmly in that, and that is what it is going to be, the factor and the continuing factor to, for growth for our community. People need to realize that it's not only a good place to live here and to do business, but it's a safe place to live here, which is business. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here today, and I want to thank you for the job that you do.